Hey team, I'm excited to be here, excited to record this part of the presentation about the food. I'm now in a very special place. This is a Ukrainian restaurant, and it's styled to be to represent Ukraine of, let's say, 16th, 17th century and onwards, with all of the traditional food, which I'm just about to show you. So let's walk right in. Okay, so first of all, I will, let's say, the spade, the pot and pan holder of different sizes, like this, the old irons, plates. Some of the things, to be honest, I don't even know what they are for, so don't expect me to know everything. Alright, so before we move on to the food part of this recording of this presentation, I wanted to stop for a moment and focus your attention on the towels that are all over the place here. This is a very big part of the culture, the towels per se, and the embroidery on them. You will find the embroidery both on the towels and on the shirts. Alright, so the food part. Of course, national cuisine in any country is a very big topic, a very big thing, so I'm going to limit my order to just 4 dishes. Some of them are familiar to you, some of them are not, but I will present and explain every single thing. So yeah, it's coming. While they're cooking my food, I wanted to make this quick comment about the taste, because obviously through the video you won't be able to smell or taste. Or generally, the food here comes not spicy. I almost want to say bland, because this is the word I've often met in bloggers' description of the Ukrainian cuisine, so I'll just use that. You can of course add pepper and salt to it as you wish, or any other spice for that matter, but by default it's the traditional recipes are made of things that you would normally store in your cellar, and those things should obviously last through the winter. So you'd often see things like potatoes, beetroots, cabbage, what else, beans. Yeah, you get the idea. Alright, my food is finally here, so let me switch the camera and show you what I have. Okay, there we have it. I'll first take a quick tour, and then I'll explain every single item that I have here. So, oh yeah, the dessert is also coming. I'm not going to eat all of that. It's just way too much, but some of it I will just pack and finish it off later. So, this dish you see here, it's called borscht. It's, when you read it out loud, it's pretty hard to pronounce and read. I even have a story from my wife. She had this colleague from Japan, Yuko, and they used to have, they had this conversation once that Yuko was telling how much she likes this dish from Ukraine with a somewhat awkward name, bullshit. So she read borscht as bullshit. It's very different from part to part of the country, and it's pretty much a beetroot soup that consists of potatoes, some cabbage, usually pork, and some dill as a decoration here. The way it's eaten is you add some sour cream to it, like that. Then you mix it all up, and then you eat it like that. So this is it. I also cooked it once while I was in the States for my host parents, and they actually liked it, but my host brother, he was 14 back then, and he freaked out over the color of the thing. It's, as you see, it's red, and he simply said he wasn't hungry, so hope it doesn't scare you away. Okay, the next dish that's up on my list is called deroni. Pretty much this is potato pancakes. This is grated potatoes, and they add flour and eggs on it, and that, all together, it allows it to hold. And this is one of the traditional things. Also, you eat them with sour cream. You put the sour cream in here, and then you simply eat it. Simple as that. This thing is simply for decoration. The name of this drink is uzvar. It's sweet, and it's made of dried fruit like prunes, pears, apples, They used to add some honey back in the day to it to make it sweet. Now they simply add sugar, but this is very similar to, I don't know, Coke. It's a sweet drink. It doesn't look that well, just because of the ingredients it contains, but it is pretty tasty. This thing is called salo. This is pretty much pork lard, processed in a certain way that it's easy to eat and chew. And so it's typically eaten with bread or some other dish. It's never eaten on its own because it's simply too fatty. It's low cholesterol. It's high density cholesterol, so it's not the type of cholesterol that actually creates the clots in your blood. So it's a pretty healthy thing, if that can be healthy at all. Some consider it gross, and I won't argue with that. Not everyone likes it. But still, it's a part of the traditional cuisine, and I have to mention it simply because it's a part of the culture and cuisine. How it historically came up and made it to the national cuisines actually of many countries is because we used to have Turkish and Tartar invasions who are Muslims, as you know, and they would loot and burn villages and slay pretty much everyone in the village, but Quran doesn't allow them to touch pigs, which are known to be dirty animals. And so that's how pigs made it to the cuisine and became the staple meat of the culture, and not just the Ukrainian culture, but pretty much everyone in the Eastern Europe and all the way up to the Balkans. One of the big parts of the local cuisine is a dish called vareniki. In the Americas, it's known as pierogies, which is a Polish name for the same thing. I'm a bit jealous that the Western world took the Polish name, although this dish isn't purely Polish. In any case, let me show you what it's like. This is dough with different types of fillings in it. It can be eaten as a main course or as a dessert. I have both versions here. So here I've opened up a few of them for you, and when it's a main course, it's usually made of something non-sweet, such as potato fillings in here, right? Or meat. It could be anything pretty much. I know that in Canada they sell pierogies with potatoes and cheddar cheese, which none of the Ukrainians would even understand that combination, so it would be pretty much weird. So moving on to the dessert part, the same thing can be filled with different filling. So the red is the strawberry here, and this would be filled with sweet cottage cheese, pretty much the type of cheese that you would see on a cheesecake. So let me crack them open for you and show what's inside. So this is the inside of the dessert version of the pierogies, and here you can see the strawberry part with the strawberry. Now, because we're in a restaurant, they put just a little bit of the strawberry inside. If it were my mom, it would be really be filled with strawberries. Same for cottage cheese. And this is not the cottage cheese as you might know it. This is more of the cheesecake type cottage cheese. All in all, it makes it very filling and very sweet, so you can have it as a dessert. If you note, if it's a dessert version, it's served with sour cream, and if it's a main dish, it's served with some fried onions on top. So this is it. All right, so these are the dishes I wanted to show you. These are the most traditional ones that I feel like are worth mentioning. And there's of course a lot more, but these are the first ones that come to mind. And of course, just because there is so many dishes out there, I wouldn't be physically able to try them all. I would simply die. Yeah, I can barely breathe at this point, so it's just a good time to stop. I will pack everything up and we'll move to other less dangerous parts of the presentation, so stay tuned.